Hey y'all, welcome back to Chatting with Coach Amy. Today I'm with one of my group clients, Liesl, and I'm so excited to introduce her to you. And I think I've told you the story. So there are two stories actually for you. So one, growing up, we went to the rodeo all the time. Have I told you this?
Uh-uh.
Okay. So the clown, his name was Liesl. That was his name.
Wow.
He's a rodeo clown. And
That's awesome.
it's a very special part of my childhood. So I love your name because of that. Like it really, truly, I'm not making fun at all. And he was very famous for the Dixie National Rodeo as a clown. Anyway, so we have that. And then if you remember, I don't remember if it was 100 Strong or for my birthday, it was a giveaway. And there were there's you and another one. And she, I think you won, but I sent it to her, or she won and I sent it to you. I can't remember, but both Liesels got a prize. I'm like, no, y'all both deserve a prize.
There's so few of us. It's always fun to hear the name because there's not many of us around.
I bet. Oh my gosh. Well, that was all digressing, but I think about it every time I see you on Zoom or I read your name in Mighty Networks or wherever. I think about Liesl the Clown and the prize debacle.
So funny. Most people relate it to The Sound of Music because that's where
Yes.
the name came from. Like that's where my parents heard it. And so that's how I ended up with it. But yeah, that's the place where typically people know the name from. But
well, leave it to me to be weird. Oh man. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 46. I just had a birthday in August as well. The 16th. Yes. I'm married. I don't have any kids. I live in Virginia most of the time. At the moment, I'm at my mom's in Montana.
Oh, wow. Can I come?
Hmm?
Can I come one day? I want to go to Montana.
Absolutely. Yeah, I drove out with our camping gear. My husband flew out. We went and spent a week in Glacier Park hiking and camping. And so that was lovely. Now I'm on project duty for my mom. So
that's so sweet. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of what I do. I've been working mostly bookkeeping for my line of work stuff has been mostly bookkeeping, but for the last 7 years I've been nanny, babysitter, housewife for a family in Northern Virginia. So I've been commuting about an hour each way to go to their house and work. And they just moved out west as well. So that job has ended for me. So when I go back, I'll figure out what's next. But
wow, that's exciting though.
It is.
Very good. Yeah. How long have y'all been married?
15 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I always thought I'd have a whole passel of kids, but it didn't happen. So instead I take care of other people's babies.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I asked this of another lady I interviewed once who didn't have children. How did the concept of Trim Healthy Mama turn you off because you do not have children? Did that bother you?
It didn't.
I have seen people that didn't like that.
Yeah, I think at one point I don't know, shared something on Facebook and was like a hashtag Trim Healthy Mama recipe or something. And my cousin like replied and she's like, are you trying to hint something here? Like, are you? And I was like, no. But no, it didn't turn me on. Yeah. No, it's kind of interesting how I first heard about it though, because I had been done all sorts of different things health-wise. But my husband for a short time was attempting vegan eating. So I was trying to be supportive. Yeah, I was trying to be supportive. I was not getting enough protein and I could tell. And my sister introduced me to like a protein drink company, MLM. And so I was like, sure, whatever. Well, I started drinking more protein and was like, oh, I feel amazing. This is fantastic. Right. Anyway, lady in that upline shared something on Facebook about making skinny chocolate. And I was like, what is skinny chocolate? And so there was a link to like a message or something about Trim Healthy Mama. And so I started researching, looked it up. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to buy this book. This was in 2014. So I bought the book just so I could have the skinny chocolate recipe. Made it with liquid stevia. It was the most disgusting thing I'd ever eaten. It was so bad. However, I didn't, I read the book and like started to understand. Like, it
was your gateway.
Yes, it was. It made sense to me. And so it was kind of like, okay, I can see this whole like blood sugar balancing thing and, whatever. But that was how I kind of got started into it, which was just kind of funny to me. Like I had to go back and look like, when was it that I got that book? Because that was a long time ago.
Yeah, for sure. So I was looking at your before picture that everyone can see now, and you are a foxy mama. You foxy.
Well, I kind of feel like that camera angle is like bad as well. But then I was like, hey, it's a great before picture.
It is. I love it.
I did ask my sister, I was like, is this what I looked like? And she's like, well, not really. But then, pictures are kind of hard, in my opinion. When
Wes will say, like, my before picture, he's like, I see that, but I didn't see that. I mean, he's known me since I was in kindergarten. So, I mean, whatever. But people will tell me, JJ, my best friend, she'll say the same thing. I just got my driver's license renewed, and I didn't have to go get a new picture, but I was getting a new picture, girl.
Yay.
And then I had this on, my Southern and Healthy shirt. But it's just like this. It's all it is. You hardly see my hair. I'm like, well, crud.
Well, and I just pulled out my driver's license for something here recently, and I had to get a new one, I think last year. And my wallet was stolen.
Oh my God.
So I had to go get a new one. And I look at the picture and I'm like, I look at myself now to that picture and I'm like, oh wow, my face has changed.
Yes.
So it's like, yay.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I love it.
It is exciting.
So you started doing THM, or you knew about it in 2014, but you told me that you didn't start doing it seriously until 2021. So walk me through that.
Well, I mean, I learned, like, I started doing stuff. So in like 2015, 2016, I was doing really well with it. So I had some family members come visit me in Virginia. We're just outside of DC. Okay. So get to go into the city and see the sites when people come to visit. And we were doing that. And I was just kind of talking about it so much because I was like, my aunt was asking me, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is what I'm doing. It's so great. It works great. And her husband was my uncle was having some health issues. And so I was like, here, I'm going to make all these crossovers for him because he really needs to gain some weight, and this is what I'm doing, and kind of understood things and was doing pretty well. And then that year was just really busy. I ended up just like coming back to Montana, dropping off of what I'm supposed to do. Like it's just around other people cooking for me. That's been a really hard thing for me, is to say no to other people. I'm such a people pleaser that it's hard for me to just say, yeah, that's not good for me. So I'd be like, okay, well, they made it. I better eat it. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Yeah. And so that, and then just traveling and whatever was really tough that year. And it just kind of spiraled. And then it just continued. And so like through 2017, 2018, gained and didn't feel great. Kind of got to this point of, well, okay, I'm just always going to be heavier than I should be. That's just how I am. I'll just be fine with it. Of course, I wasn't fine with it. In my head, I was really sad, frustrated. My clothes weren't fitting right. I have that problem now, but it's in the reverse. And so I struggled. And then I suppose I got, like, I'm not a tiny person. I'm almost 5'9". I come from big stock.
All right, time out. I hate your guts, but I love you a lot. You're 5'9"?
Yeah.
I'm 5'2".
I know.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Everything I've ever aspired to be.
So I'm a pretty good sized person.
That's awesome though.
My older sister, she's like your height. She's maybe 5'2". Really? And then my other sister, my older sister is shorter than me. And then I'm in the middle. And then my younger sister, she's also shorter than me, but slightly taller than my older sister. So
wow.
I got the tall genetics.
You did, that you stole it.
I did.
I love it.
So at 5, at that height, I was like, I think the heaviest I ever got was just over 200, like 201. And I had never cracked over the 2s before. Yeah. I'd like right out of high school, I remember being almost that heavy. I was working as a nanny for a family back east. And then I just changed how I was eating and lost. And then, so it's just kind of been up and down for me my whole life. And so I was about that again in like 21. Yeah. And then I was just like, okay, I know what I can do. I know THM works. I know, why can't I do what I know I'm supposed to do? Yeah. I know I need to do this. I know it works. Why can't I do it? And it was like the nights were the hardest for me. It seemed like I could start the day okay. And then in the evening, I would just overeat. And it wouldn't necessarily be unhealthy food. It just was too much. And so I'd go to bed at night with what I'd say like a food baby. My belly was just so bloated. And so it didn't feel good. And the next day I'd start up again and be like, okay, I can do better today, but again, it was just like this thing. And so I decided I needed accountability. I needed somebody to just help me. And so I'm thinking it was somewhere in there that I joined up with a couple of other coaches, and they did like a 4-6 week thing.
Mhm.
And it was helpful because it was like, okay, I know this is what I need to do. Here's how I need to eat. I was going to go on a little girls trip with my best friend. And when we got to where we're going, I was like, okay, so I'm doing this thing and I have to be accountable of my eating, and I'm going to try to eat healthy. And she's totally on board. So she's like, great, let's do this together. So it helped her eat healthy that weekend that we were away together as well. And so, and I took pictures and like filled out this whole form for when I started. And when I started that, when I was 199, and I took my measurements and all the things, and worked through that process. And I think at the end, I was down to like, I'd maybe lost 10 pounds. And so I was like, okay, well, that's great. Well, then I didn't sign up for anything more again after. And it just kind of like hovered, went up, down, didn't ever change. And so then I fell into that whole, I know I need to do this. I know it works. Why can't I do what I need to do? Okay, I need some help. And so I think I did some tips miss ones, which is, I think is where I had bumped into you. And then I started following you on different socials and getting emails and things. And so I signed up for the 100 Strong year and didn't know what I was supposed to do. Like I was like, am I supposed to email that I'm doing this every day? Or like, am I supposed to check in somewhere, or do I not? Or is it on my own? And
you're a big girl. Just do it on your own.
Right. So I signed up, but I didn't do it very well. And then in like towards the end of the year, I did the Trimtastic holiday. And I was like, okay, I kind of like how this is working. I want to join Blooms because I know that's where the accountability is. But I had to do buds first. And I was like, but I don't want to do buds first. I was one of those people.
Oh, I've heard that a million times.
Yes. I did sign up and go through it. And of course, like everybody says, I learned things I didn't know I was going to learn.
Yeah.
And so it went well. Like I was part of the Winter Buds group. We weren't super like talkative. Our group. Part of
it was like Legends of Sleepy Hollow, man. Y'all were just like, but I have so many blooms that came out of that. Like y'all were just lurkers. And I mean, I actually had a message recently, and I'm no, sorry. She commented on Facebook, Amy has changed my life. I'm like, I do not recognize this person's name. I felt terrible, but she did not have much activity in her buds, but apparently got all the things. And that's awesome. You don't have to be a chatty Cathy to get it, but it works for everybody's personality.
I'm kind of one of those like lurk in the background, kind of learn, a bit of a perfectionist, don't want to ask a stupid question, don't want to like, not that I don't want to participate until I know that it's going to be perfect, but kind of, that's a struggle, but getting better about it. So I did that. And then at the start of buds, I think I was like 186 or something. And then I lost like 10-ish, 12-ish pounds or something by the end of buds. And then just kind of was juggling my fuels kind of on my own. And I was like, okay, something needs to change. I'm not really losing anything more. I feel okay. Like I've always felt good. So I was like, okay, what's the slimming cycle? So I printed it off, and it was really, I'm not much for like planning everything out for my week. But it was like, okay, today is an S breakfast. Okay, I'll do this. Today is an E lunch. Okay, I'll do that. And the next day, sort of the same thing. And I just like, okay, I have to make an E. What's it going to be? Okay, I'm going to have.
It does take a lot of guesswork out, doesn't it?
It does. It just kind of tells me what to do. And what was kind of fun is like, I started doing that. And then like, just started dropping, like it started changing. And my lovely husband, I was like, I can't believe it. Look at this. Like it's working. Can you believe it? Like all I'm doing is this, like, this is all, and it's working, and I'm just kind of excited because it's working. And he's like, so like, what are you eating now? And I'm like, I'm having a fats meal. So I don't ever call him S&E because I'm like, oh, let's see, I have to have a fats meal right now. Or, oh, I'm coming home and I'll be home by whatever, but tonight's dinner is going to be a carbs meal. He's like, okay. I'm like, do you want carbs too? He's like, sure, or whatever. So we end up having the same thing, and he has some weight he wants to lose too. And so it's like, but I've just been like talking about it, and then him witnessing how well it's worked for me, has been an encouragement to him too, to be like, okay, there's been a few times he's like, well, is it time to eat yet? And I'm like, I'll grab my app and I'll look, yep, actually it has been 3 hours. So he's like, great, because I'm hungry.
Yes.
So that's been good. And then yep, I downloaded it for Buds, and I do really, I've definitely gotten into the habit of like just pausing and taking the picture. And one of the things that I think that's really helped me a lot with that is I'm a snacker, or I was, or I would just graze. And so it wasn't like I'd ever have a meal and then be done. And so I would, with the 8 app, I was like, I'd take a picture of something and then be like, eat that. But then 20 minutes later, I'm finished having something else. And I was like to finish my meal or something. And I'm like, but I have to take another picture of it. And that just messes up my whole like,
it doesn't make it pretty anymore.
No, the picture thing looks stupid. And so I was like, okay, it forced me to stop and put everything together in one picture.
Good girl.
And then sit and eat it and then be done, and not have to take another picture to the next thing that I'm eating. And so that's been really helpful to really slow me down. And this is this thing that I'm having now. And then the next fueling, I can have the next thing. And with working and commuting, I would typically start with like a smoothie. I mean, I got into a habit a while ago of like doing yoga or something, like first thing in the morning, like 20 minutes or whatever, some sort of fitness thing. And I can kind of continue that on. And then through like Buds and Blooms and things, I tend to do like get up in the morning, drink a full water bottle first thing, putter around, get husband off to work, go work out, come back, make a smoothie, get myself ready for the day, drink my smoothie, drive to work. But I'd have to put together for the whole day basically everything that I was going to eat, because I was going to be gone from 6 to 6 or 7 to 7 or something sometimes. And so plan out my whole meals for that day and just pack them in my little lunchbox and know that, yes, I'm at somebody else's house, and yes, I have food privileges to help myself to whatever. But I had to tell myself, no, that's not mine. This is mine. What's in my lunchbox is what I'm having today. And so it really helped me think about, plan it, pack it, just have it with me.
And eat it.
And then eat it, because that was what I had. That was my food. They weren't responsible for feeding me. I'm responsible for feeding me. And so that was really helpful too, to just take what was mine for the day and have it planned out. And I find myself struggling, like when I'm not in a routine, to do that stuff a little bit better. I've been getting up a little bit later here, still working out some. I've been doing loads of manual labor, so that's the workouts kind of been getting taken care of, but the eating stuff's a little bit different. But I'm still prepping something. Like, this is kind of how I ended up at home. Weekends were often prep days. Like, I would make a couple of different things that my husband and I would both eat on all week. I'd make a lot of the egg white pudding, the chocolate egg white pudding. He liked that. I'd like that. I'd usually make a cake of some sort. There'd be some sort of dessert. There'd be a casserole or two, or a pile of quinoa and cooked meat or something. And sometimes I'd make soups or whatever, chuck things in the freezer, and then have something to just be able to pull out and throw in my lunch bag and just go. But anyways, worked well to put that stuff together, plan it out, and then just have what I've taken with me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I will tell you, you quoted me several times since we've been talking for 20 minutes. It cracks me up when I hear y'all. Did you say you were going to think about coming to the conference next year? You're going to love it. Okay, so can you imagine me sitting there and just listening to them talk? And like, I hear my words come out of all their mouths. Hilarious. Oh, it's so funny. Oh, it just cracked me up.
Yeah, my poor mother is catching all of
It's
the
like,
things
be
right
careful,
now.
little mouth, what you say,
No, I'm doing that this whole, like, I'm like, Mom, did you drink any water yet? Mom, like Coach Amy says,
Oh
it's
my
just
gosh.
fuel, like,
It's Coach Amy, leave me alone.
right.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. So I'm assuming your husband is very supportive. It sounds like he is.
He is.
So when he was coming from being a vegan, when did that change for him?
I don't remember exactly. Probably about the time I was saying, I just can't, I can't do this. I need beef.
Right.
I can't
Right. Yes.
that's
Yeah.
not my blood type. And I just know I feel better when I have more stuff. But it was good for him in a way, because I think his system did okay with that, but it was still he wanted to still have a steak occasionally too.
Yeah.
But he was trying to, I think, kind of just do almost like a cleanse sort of a situation. But yeah, he's always been supportive. He was annoyed with himself for having gained what he had gained. And so that's been a struggle. And I mean, he's never said this, but part of me is like, oh, I wonder if he's annoyed that I'm losing and he's not,
Yeah. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah.
Those men, we roll our eyes sometimes with their weight loss when they get on plan. There's been a lot lately of ladies posting about their husbands. It's so great. So it's definitely possible. It is a lot of dedication for them.
I agree. And it's a lot of honestly prayer on my own part to be like, come on, you can do this too. Or different, there's been times where I thought, oh, he's never going to participate in that, or whatever. And then here he is so is this a fats or a carbs meal? It's like, okay, he is hearing and listening, and this is great.
Yeah. People have asked me about doing a couples group, and I'm like, no, your husbands aren't going to look at it. That would be a waste of all of our time. No. They can just listen to you. Yeah, it's fine. Let them watch the video. If you're in coaching, let them watch the video. Bless them. I had met a coach last year, and she said, we follow you. She's like, Coach Amy. And I'm like, you're another coach. It's funny when they call me Coach Amy, other coaches. But I mean, that's my name on everything. It's like your friend you went to high school with, you still call them by their maiden name. It's the same thing. But anyway, her husband, she's like, will you FaceTime him or send him a picture or whatever? I'm like, yeah. And so that was hilarious, just seeing that, and there was some dude speaking at the conference that they came and they wanted to meet me. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Howdy doody.
So fun.
So funny, yeah. Okay, so talk about some non-scale victories.
I'm so much better about just saying no instead of, okay, sure, I'll make that work when it really doesn't. And just, I think, experiencing the excitement of change in a way. I feel like I understand the plan. I know what I need to do. And I'm not maybe as afraid now in certain settings to just do it, so I can say that's not going to work for me. I can say no more easily. And just thinking about what I'm going to be eating and why it's better for me than just not thinking about what I'm going to have and just
ignoring the fact that you have to eat later. Yeah. A lot of people do that.
Yeah. So even yesterday, my mom and I went out for lunch, and it was a pizza place that I thoroughly enjoy, but I didn't want to go off plan for lunch. I was there for my birthday, and I did, which was planned, and I don't care, but that's fine. But this one, I didn't want to do that. And so I asked him, I said, can you make me a pizza without the crust? And he's like, I don't know. I'll go talk to the kitchen. And they wouldn't do it, but I was like, okay, that's fine. I just want a side of your amazing fennel Italian sausage anyway. So we ordered a big salad, and that's what I ended up dumping on my salad. And I was totally fine with it.
Yeah.
And so there's little things like that where it's easy or now to make those substitutions or to think about what I'm going to have and not be afraid to ask about it. And
though, all they got to do is put a piece of parchment paper down, put some cheese, sauce, and the toppings.
I said exactly that. I was like,
all you gotta do, man. All you gotta do.
Our 500-degree oven probably won't take too well to the parchment paper. I was like, okay, fine.
That's
whatever.
the whole point, but whatever. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
Y'all
could cater to a lot of people that are keto or gluten-free, bro. Just whatever.
Yes, exactly.
I'm proud of you though. When I went to lunch with Rashida after my conference, we went to a pizza place. I didn't realize that's where we were going. And I walk in and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. That girl done brought me to a pizza place. But it was delicious. We had Greek salad. It was great.
Nice.
It was great. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Any other non-scale victories?
I mean, I'm pretty good about packing things better now.
Yeah.
And just thinking ahead. So I was in the car for a week, staying at different people's houses as I came across driving. And I had all my bags of things, and I just, if they were offering me food, I'm like, oh, I'll have some of this and that, but I'm gonna, add some of my own stuff too, or whatever. And so just being better prepared about things. I don't know if that's considered a non-scale victory.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because the opposite of that is just succumbing to that, either the procrastination, the consequence of procrastination, the consequence of, not planning, the consequence of giving in, and you're not.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. So that's enjoyable to be able to be strong.
Yeah,
and say, yes, I'm going to do this and it's fine. And to have I think a better mindset too about it. Cause there was years there where, I wouldn't say the nicest things to myself. And so to experience good things and just be like, I am choosing good things for myself right now. And I'm making good decisions for myself. And that feels good. And that kind of, everything just kind of feeds onto itself and snowballs.
Yeah, it does for sure. Amen. I love that. I think it's so cool you found me at Tipsmiths and then did 100 Strong, and it's a year later and you're recording this. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is neat.
You never know what'll happen in a year, folks.
True.
So true. That's good. So what would you say to people that are considering 100 Strong? They haven't signed up yet.
Just sign up. I mean,
do it, ding dong.
It'll get you started, right? Like you kind of, again, I'm going to assume that a lot of people signing up for it kind of know what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And to have a team of other people with you kind of trying to do the same thing, it's encouraging. And it's like for anybody, just take those steps, just keep plodding on, just keep taking those steps. Yeah. And like, if you mess up, it's okay.
Yep, it is. So right now we're recording this on September 6th. It's going to air September 11th. And so you still have time to sign up. The deadline's September 22nd for this year's 100 Strong. But I have 508 signed up. And last year I had 1,000. And so I want 1,001, please. So y'all get to signing up. Okay. Do it for me. So good. So good. What do you think about the prizes?
What are the prizes? I think I was listening, but I don't remember what they are.
Yeah. So they are a session of one-on-one for free. Winter buds for free.
Right. And
free entry to my conference. You do have to pay your own lodging, meals, and travel.
Yeah, I want to win that one.
Okay. So this year, do you plan on completing the challenge 100%?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm planning on doing it.
Did you do it last year?
I didn't complete it last year. Like I kind of got frustrated, I think, because I was like feeling, I don't know, like, again, like I knew what I was supposed to do, but I still didn't have like
in your heart and mind,
the mindset, whatever, the drive to just do it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, I was just telling somebody, I was like, you can substitute everything in this plan. There's nothing you can't eat. You can still have the cake and the treats and the whatevers. And I do sometimes struggle with, a crossover. Oh, well, the crossover's still on plan. But so come holiday stuff, like I love to bake and cook. That's something that I'm really good at. And I come from a grand stock of really good bakers. So I like to do that sort of thing, but I'm trying to come up with stuff that still tastes, in a sense, as good as the traditional stuff, but just with the THM plan and ingredients. And it's so doable. I just made for the first time, Brianna Thomas's peach cobbler. Got a bunch of peaches, and the cobbler is made with cooked oatmeal.
Yeah.
Seemed strange, but I made it and I was like, I really like it.
Does it have eggs?
Yes, there's egg whites.
I will.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, no, but yes, there's egg whites. That's kind of the binder for the topping of it,
Right,
the cobbler part.
Yeah.
But it is really like just kind of oatmeal-y on top. But I know, anyway, it was fantastic. So
Awesome.
I'm like, okay, here's peach cobbler and a substitute from what I would have normally have made it with white flour and sugar. So,
you know, I love pizza. I just said that earlier. And it took me years to find a crust that I liked. The ones in the books, they don't toot my horn. I did not like the pizza crust mix. Bless. I did try it. I souped it up, but it just isn't my jam. But that chicken crust pizza that I found, like if you want a pizza, like I love my skillet. I love the one I can do in the air fryer, blah, blah, blah. But I would like to pick it up and eat the whole thing. Like I just want that experience. And sometimes I don't do it because it is a lot more work, but it is so good. Camp's birthday is next week, and I'm making that for myself because I'm certain we will have pizza at that party.
I have not tried that one yet. I should try that one.
Really good. It's really good. Wes's parents are not on plan, and they both had a piece. My mom and dad are more on plan than not, of course, but they loved it. My brothers ate some. I'm like, okay, y'all can eat my pizza. Okay, it's my leftovers for the week. I like poured one pizza in my refrigerator.
Mine.
Yes, it is. I don't like sharing very much sometimes. Okay, so let's talk about your progress, because we did talk about your before and after picture. Are you okay sharing that?
Sure.
Okay, you go. Sure. Tell us about
it. So, well, I started around 201 at my heaviest, right. Probably sometime in 2021. Don't exactly know when, didn't keep track. Really started keeping track in early 2022. Mm-hmm. And so after buds, so basically after, it'd be like a year and a half, I've lost almost 35 pounds.
Wow. That's
assuming awesome. That I'm still at the 165 that I was at
5'9".
Yeah. So I'm finally back down to where I'd like to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, technically I feel like I wouldn't mind losing another 10, but I'm also okay with where I'm at.
But you probably will, especially with knowing that 100 strong's happening. Like you're going to be so resolved to do that. I really feel like you will lose some. I lose some every holiday season because I'm even more, I do go off a little bit. Like I'll do a couple of fries, maybe, or I may have a small piece of dessert, but I don't have anything off. And I do try to watch my personal choice items in that moment. I do some crossovers though, just because of necessity, especially at the holidays. But I try to keep it really clean during 100 strong. And I always in January end up lighter than I started in September.
Well, I've been contemplating reducing the dairy. I've noticed
that's a good one.
I've noticed this last couple of weeks, I was pretty much having almost processed dairy. It seemed like with almost every meal. Wow. And whether it was Greek yogurt or cottage cheese or cream cheese or cheese, whatever, typically that form. And I was like, yeah, this is just not settling very well. And so maybe I should think about reducing that a little bit. So that might be a focus for me for the next 100 days.
You could. This year, last year I did a focus of 4 for my blooms, and anybody else wanted to do it, but I'm not doing that this year. This year it's just a no cheat challenge. Just keep it super simple, but I do think, if you're already pretty regular on plan, I think it's a great idea to level up with that. Level up is my theme for next year. I've already talked about it all over the place, but it makes sense. It makes sense. What's the next thing you're going to tackle, And so that's a tough one, but you can do it.
Yeah. And I don't mind having some still, like I love my kefir and I'm okay with continuing on with the kefir.
Absolutely.
But the other stuff I definitely need to chill out on.
Yep, I understand.
I had to reach out to a functional medicine doctor here, I think earlier this year, and we did some allergy testing stuff. And she's like, yeah, you really need to be off of gluten. And that was hard because I really like to make and eat sourdough bread.
Yeah.
So, but I did, I've done that. I'm like, so, okay, I can do that one. I can try to do the next one. So I think we'll keep going with that too, and just
Yeah.
kind of find the next thing. So it's
Wow.
doable.
Very
That's
good.
one thing that I've learned. There's a
Good.
substitute, and what is it? The wonderful white blender bread
Yeah.
has been something that I've been making weekly. It's just been
Wow.
an amazing carrier for
It's a
all of
fuel
the other
pull, right?
things. It's fuel pull. And it's one of those things when I first made it, my husband and I were just like, yeah, not our favorite. However, it's a fabulous carrier for
Yeah.
everything
The
else.
vehicle man.
It's totally what I needed, and it's been great. So
Yeah.
sandwiches with it, or toast it in butter, or Canada's peanut butter, or whatever.
Yeah. I love it.
So found a substitute.
I'm so proud of you. That's so good. And I saw you love a yuck yum. Very good. So, how do you feel like your heart and your mind have reconciled kind of the left outs since you started, being a little more conscientious about what you're doing? And tell us a little bit about your journey there with that, with the healing from that.
Yeah. I think it was just helpful to be properly fueled, and when I am, then I don't feel the left outs the same.
Yeah.
Now, there's still times I was tempted, really honestly, the other day. I wouldn't say tempted, but was out to dinner with a couple other people. I chose like a salad and a soup that would have ended up being a crossover, not 100% sure, but close. And they had something else that was like bread and fries and all the things, and I could smell it, and it smelled so good. And I just really wanted to just like snitch something. And I was like, but no, you're doing this, and you're perfectly fed eating this. You don't have to do that. And that's not beneficial, right? It's something you say. But I think it was just kind of time. Like it really, like the time, it took some time to get there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't immediate, because there's been a lot of times when I'm in a party situation and there's all these things and I want to sample everything, but I just kind of have to tell myself no. And it's okay. If I really wanted that, whatever it was, I'll go home and make my own version of it, maybe. I don't really know how or when it changed or what the process was, but there really has been a shift where I can be sitting in front of somebody else eating something that I may be used to, and now I'm not as.
That's amazing.
By it.
That's amazing.
It just feels like it just sort of finally got there, if that makes sense. It wasn't but
it took a lot. And I say, we're practicing THM. Like it takes time to just being consistent, doing it over and over and over and over and over. And then you realize why you are doing it. I tell people, you've heard me say it, if you got into buds or you got into THM to lose weight, you might as well quit, because you're not going to last. You have to come into THM with the mindset of, I'm improving my health with this way of eating. And when you can accept that and do it with the right mentality, you will probably see weight loss, but you have to keep doing it every day, over and over and over and over. And I'm almost 7 years in of doing that over and over and over and over. And I cannot imagine my life any other way. And that's not just because I'm a coach and I live, eat, breathe, drink, sleep, talk, all THM. That's like kind of all encompassing because it's my job. But, I went away this weekend, and I don't think I did have one thing off plan, but it was a conscious decision, and I had planned, I talked about it the day before. I'm going to do this, whatever. But all of my meals were on plan. I fueled all my snacks on time. I had my water, I didn't do any intentional movement, but that's okay. But I had a great time, and I didn't really have the left outs. I was okay. It was fine.
Great.
And
it's nice to experience that too, where if you do have something off plan chosen, I feel like I'm finally at that point where, okay, I've had that, but I still eat this other way
Right.
the rest of the time.
Yeah.
And this isn't going to derail me now. I feel like I'm finally not going to just be derailed from one meal or.
Yeah. I mean, that didn't bother me at all. It was a drink, but, then my next thing was the next morning, I was 100% on plan. Never occurred to me to stay off plan, like some people do. And that's okay, because they're not where I am. Granted, I've been doing this a long time, but, just that mentality of you messed up once. So one tire's flat, you don't slash the other three. You just pick back up and go fix that flat tire. And,
I'm so happy I'm finally there too, because I was at that other point as well, where it was just like, fine, I just
forget it.
I'll just forget it. This is just easier, or whatever. I just get mad, honestly, or just mad at myself and then mad about whatever, just unhappy about it. And then just continue down the stupid spiral and end up feeling worse than I was before. So
you're healed, sister.
Yay.
Thank you. Good. So good. Do you want to share anything else with them?
Just keep going. That's my thing. I just want to keep taking those steps. What was I reading? Oh, we're doing the Bible study, and I'm a little behind, but I was reading in a really different version. And one of the verses, it said, steady plodding brings prosperity.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I like that, because it is just like the steady going. And the other part of the verse was hasty speculation brings poverty. So
wow.
Thinking about it just like with minimal thought, or just like, oh, that's never going to work or whatever. Right. And that will be true then. But if you just steady going and you finally get there, and through those things, there's a mind shift change and a heart change, and all those other things that just kind of come into play that really help keep you encouraged and keep a person going.
Yeah, that's so good. So good. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
You shocked when I messaged you?
Yeah. She knows I exist.
Dude, you're like, no, not the rainbow clown.
Not the clown.
Not the clown. Oh my gosh, cute. I love it. I love it. Well, yeah, of course. And I have gone through, I've sent a lot of messages before, and get, no, I don't think so. And so I just never know what's going to happen, but I keep sending them and keep asking.
Well, I was super nervous. I was like, oh, what would I even say? Do I even have a story?
Yeah, everybody has a story.
I'm going to be so nervous. It's never going to work. But anyway, I'm feeling fine. So
good. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you said that. And there are some who may not have had the success that you have, may not be, the size you are, the size I am, or the size they want to be. And they feel like they don't have a story, but they do, because they've still seen change and they've still done the work. They're just still going. And I put that on most of my pictures. Do you see one of my little boys?
You?
That's the youngest one. I actually had to turn and look to see which one, because they're getting really close in height now. Can't tell them apart. It's really glared for me. But, everyone has a story, and everyone has that journey. And, you don't have to have lost this crazy amount of weight to have a story. You don't.
No, it's so encouraging to hear other people just say that they feel so much better, or they were able to go through a really hard season by feeling better while eating correctly. Right. Those are encouraging.
That's right. That's right. All right, girl. Well, I'll let you get back to your mama.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You want to tell them bye?
Bye.
Bye, y'all.